If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Why make choices in your life based on judgments instead of on your awareness of what would create the life and living you desire? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm.
Welcome, everyone, tonight to our show. We have a wonderful guest with us tonight, and I'm very excited to introduce her to you and to this show tonight. So we're going to be speaking with Dr. Lisa Cooney, and we're going to be Living Your Roar is the show topic tonight. And last week, I did a show. I was solo last week, and it was called Pathetic or Dominant? What Are You Choosing? It was a lot of fun, and it was a pretty potent show. So if you're finding you're on the teeter-totter between those two, sometimes you might want to go into the archives and check that show out. So I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a possibilities coach, and I work together with individuals and organizations to co-create what it is that they desire to have in their life and their business with all the possibilities available in the universe. I am an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, a bars and body process facilitator with Access Consciousness, as well as a radio show host, producer, and I actually own A2Zen.fm. So how does it get any better than that? My programs do assist you in bringing more possibilities to actualization. Ask yourself, are you ready to claim what you desire? Now, I do charge for my services, but the first 5 minutes are always free. Please feel free to reach out. You can email me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca, or you can check me out at inspiredchoices.ca, my website. So tonight, Living Your Roar. Dr. Lisa Cooney is a radically, orgasmically alive reality. If you are ready to change your reality and truly come alive with more joy, pleasure, choices, and possibilities than ever before, you definitely want to stay tuned for us tonight. So Lisa has a very long bio, and I'm going to let her tell herself a little bit about herself, but I'll tell you a little bit first. I'll do the formal intro. Dr. Lisa is a world-leading authority on thriving after childhood sexual abuse. As a licensed marriage and family therapist, she's a certified Access Consciousness Facilitator and a Master Theta healer. She has supported thousands of people over the past 20 years in living beyond their childhood sexual abuse to create infinite possibilities for themselves and a life they truly enjoy living. Dr. Lisa shares her experiences with people all around the world. She's a dynamic, potent being and somebody that I like to call my friend. Welcome, Dr. Lisa.
Thank you so much, Christine. And I want to say thank you to you, too, because you're the owner of this amazing radio show, and I know a lot of beautiful people that host their own shows on your show, let alone yourself, and are doing amazing work for the world and transforming lives. So thank you for listening to your own whisper of consciousness and doing what you do, bringing all our voices out there. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. It certainly is my pleasure. I get to play do what's fun. How does it get any better than that?
How does it? Well, that's a little bit about a good lead-in for living your radically, orgasmically alive reality. You get to do what's fun.
Let's get into this. So tell a little bit more about yourself, Lisa. I mean, you're a dynamic being. We all know that. What are you doing in the world right now that is really living your own roar?
Oh, my gosh. That is a great question. Well, in fact, every day I'm living my roar. In fact, just got back I'm in Dallas, Texas right now, and I just got back from 5 days of teaching in Virginia, the D.C. area, running the Radically and Orgasmically Alive 2-day class, followed by the 3-day Active Consciousness Body class that I'm a facilitator of. And then, 3 days prior to getting to D.C., I was in Kelowna, British Columbia, running the same lot of classes, the 2-day Radically and Orgasmically Alive class, as well as the 3-day Access Consciousness class with a little thermometry and bar study taster thrown in on the side, a quick pit stop in California to sleep in my own bed, and then back out now till Dallas, and then Houston, and then who knows wherever else after that. So it it's a busy life over here, and really what it is living what's fun and light and right for me. And that's what I teach and facilitate people through and beyond every day, privately, individual work, as well as group work, and also through my own radio show on the Voice America Empowerment Channel called Beyond Abuse, Beyond Therapy, Beyond Anything. And basically, living radically alive, Christine, is what I call the 4 C's. The 4 C's of radical aliveness are: 1, choose you; 2, commit to you; 3, collaborate with the universe conspiring to bless you, not fight you and annihilate you. Sorry, folks. And then 4, create. And if what I found is, as I'm living those 4 C's, and what I've been told and facilitate in the Radically and Orgasmically Alive class, that when people are living those 4 C's, everything is much more fun, more expansive, light, and free, and everything starts to collaborate with you universally. That's living my roar in a nutshell.
I could just sit here and listen to you talk. Like, I know that I'm supposed to be interviewing you, but you've just pulled me in, so I'm sure you're pulling lots of our listeners in. And anybody that is listening, if you would like to come in and ask Dr. Lise a question, we have the chat room that you can certainly type a question into the chat room. Just go to a2zen.fm. Along the red bar, you'll see a chat room button, and come on, pop in there and ask her a question, or feel free to call in as well. We've got, you can Skype in, or you can call in the U.S., 815-880-8255, and in Canada, 613-800-8736. So thank you. My producer, Carol, just put it up there. How's it getting better than that? So, Dr. Lisa, I guess for me, what's popping in my mind right now is what has brought you to do all of these different things? I know
Great question.
Yeah, like how did you put your puzzle together to where you are today?
Well, even better question. How did I put it all together? Well, it started a long time ago, Christine. And let me tell you about something that I call the invisible cage of abuse. Now, if you've never heard me speak, everybody out there, I apologize. When I talk about abuse, it's light, it's fun for me, not the abuse itself, but it's light and fun now because I am living radically and orgasmically alive. But I definitely took one for the team with a lot of abuses that I was born into, chose, and been through the first 20 years of my life, 2.5 decades of my life. And now at 45 and beyond, it's more like, yeah, that is what occurred then, and what can I be and do now? But before I get to that, I mentioned something called the invisible cage of abuse. Well, I lived in that, and what I attempted to do, and have been attempting to do, and seems to be working pretty well in the last, 3 to 5 years, is really facilitate people beyond the invisible cage of abuse. Now, the 4 C's I mentioned are living radically alive, your radically and orgasmically alive reality. But there's 4 D's that really lock us all in to our own incarcerations and what I call the cage of abuse. And that's denial, defending, dissociating, and disconnecting. And this will all be out in the first of 3 books on moving beyond abuse called Kick Abuse in the Caboose, Your Journey to Radical Aliveness. And the 4 Ds, you like that? Yeah, I do.
The caboose just really got me. Thank you.
Yeah, because I really had to kick myself in my own caboose to get myself out of my own incarceration, the 4 Ds, denial, defending, dissociating, disconnecting, to actually live this raw, radically orgasmically alive reality. And granted, some days, like this morning, I had a very, very, what I would call a difficult morning. Everything just went completely topsy-turvy for me, and I was a little cranky. So
no.
Now I'm back in, yes, I was. And I did not have my allowance juice vitamins with me today, and I just stayed in a little crank pop mood for a little bit, and that was my own individual, cage of abuse, where I was not, instead of asking, what's right about this I'm not getting, I was more about, God, this sucks.
Yeah.
And I was tired, and I've been traveling, and this is just the light cage. But there are very, very much heavier and much denser cage as what I was talking about that I was living the first 2.5 decades of my life, due to what I was talking about today is lighter due to, to the first 2.5 decades of my life where I was surviving barely through severe sexual abuse, severe financial abuse, really torturous mental and emotional abuse, and quite taxing for me, my body, my psyche, and everything, where literally in school they thought I was mentally retarded or autistic at best, and really had a problem speaking because I wouldn't speak about anything because I was so shocked and traumatized by everything. My mother was so surprised when I was able to get a doctorate and all the licenses and stuff that I have. Even to this day, when I sent her the books that I have chapters in, she's like, I still really can't believe that you were able to do all this. When in school and growing up, you were always kicked out in the principal's office half the time. Those were the days, the late 60s, where people didn't talk about at all about abuse and what was really going on behind the scenes, let alone, abuse at other people's hands, let alone the abuse at your own parents' hands, right?
Right.
Or your own grandparents or your uncle, the aunt, whomever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When did you use your voice for first speaking to this? How old were you then?
Well, I was 3 years old at least when I first used my voice and told my mother what was going on, and she told me that I was lying and that couldn't be possible, which is very, very common, not just for mothers, but most people's experience. People are so shocked to hear about abuses that their first way of responding to the person that speaks is one of the cages of abuse, which is denying, defending against, dissociating. Actually, it's all 4 cages, all bars of the cage. Defending, dissociating, disconnecting. And at that moment, I literally shut down my voice. When I started to open my voice to answer and use my voice was actually my senior year of college. So I guess that'd be about 21. And a family violence professor, no coincidence there that I was in a seminar for family violence, in my undergraduate psychology degree, she called me after class to stay, and she just looked at me in the eye and literally said this, Lisa, are you okay? And Christine, I have to tell you, that was the first time anybody ever asked me, used my name and asked me if I was okay. I'd never heard those words before.
Wow.
And I literally, 21 years. No one cared a thing about me or whether I was okay, and that's not blaming anybody. That's just saying that was the environment that I lived in.
Right.
And that's the, whatever, that was the environment that I lived in, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And when she asked me that at 21, I broke down for the first time ever, because in my family, breaking down emotionally was, cause for ridicule and beatings.
Right.
And saying anything that was going on was even more so ridiculed and abused. If you broke something in the house or dropped something in the house or were playing in the house, you would get some sort of ridicule, beating, and admonishment for that.
Right.
So that's when I first started speaking and knowing that I wasn't okay. And then truthfully, it just became a series of, once I started talking, I had to learn more. I had to seek out more help. I had to keep talking. And so a series of, I was very lucky, I have to tell you. And I think this is, maybe back then I would call it luck. Now I would call it, and I didn't have the words for it then, now I would call it following the whispers of consciousness and living my radically, orgasmically alive reality. Because I had a knowing, and we all had a knowing, that if I just kept going, if I just kept speaking, if I just kept finding those practitioners, therapists, counselors, professors, friends, beloved, the friends that we call family, Are
you there? Well, this is a very good time for a break. I think maybe something is shut down.
Sorry,
there you are.
I hit No, I hit the mute button. When did you lose me? I'm sorry.
You said you were at, though, as we continued to speak.
So as I continued to speak and listen to the whispers of consciousness, I knew that at some point if I kept searching for that professor, that therapist, that training modality, and I kept allowing my body to speak, allowing my voice to be heard, allowing myself to learn what I needed to learn that I never got to learn those first 25 years of my life, I would be able to kick abuse in the caboose and live radically alive. Because I knew, Christine, that they could do and anybody could do whatever they wanted to do to my body. When you're free, they couldn't take my soul and they couldn't take my choice and they couldn't take what I was here to be and do. And I tried valiantly to not be here. Believe you me.
Okay, we got to take a quick break, and this is going way too fast already. So everybody, stay tuned. You are listening to Inspired Choices Radio on A to Zen.fm, and I have the amazing Dr. Lisa Cooney with me. And when we get back, we're going to dive right back in. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
It's body time. What would nurturing you and your body create in your life? Would you be willing to give yourself 30 days to find out? 4 live calls and receive direct to your inbox each day a video, process loop, or activity designed to contribute to you. It's body time. What will 30 days of nurturing create in your life? Begins October 15th. To find out more, go to doniellecarter.accessconsciousness.com, DONNIELLECCARTER.accessconsciousness.com.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions, or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. So tonight we have the amazing Dr. Lisa Cooney with us, and we are talking about living your roar. Lisa, when we went to break, you had just kind of brought us to the point where you started to use your voice, and you knew that if you continued to use your voice, you would find the individuals in the world that would help to create the change. You are now one of those people that people seek to create the change in their life. And thank you so much for everything that you're doing in the world. What a huge gift you are. Kicking abuse in the caboose, big time, sister. I love it. So between the age of 25 and now, what was that journey like for you?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, it was a series of ups and downs, a little bit of a roller coaster, but it was really fruitful with all the modalities and people and really my own growth and coming into the sense of who I truly be and the core of me. And like I said with the roar, the 4 C's, as long as I kept choosing for me, committing to me, collaborating with the universe, conspiring to bless me, and creating from there, everything worked out. But with abuse, things get kind of, and limitations and constrictions and judgment, things get kind of, how do I say this nicely? They get kind of twisted up and fucked up.
You can swear on here, Lisa. It's all good.
I literally had to almost like unwind every DNA imprint of everything that was ever told to me and really like separate it from me and look at and step out of that suit, that DNA suit, if you will, and really look at it. Is this my physical reality? Is this my financial reality? Is this my psychic reality? Is this my energetic reality? And with abuse, your energy is infiltrated, your space is violated, and your consciousness is anesthetized, numbed. So
wow,
it took me such a kind of bulldog, pit bull tenacity of consciousness to get brutally honest with myself every day, to actually even care to have my own reality and to not allow the insanity that was my reality, or what I called reality, to become my reality. And there were years and days that did not work from 25 to 45 or whatever, and there were more days that it did. And it was a process. So, for instance, I dealt with somebody yesterday who was having a really tough time, and then in the DC classes and in the Kelowna classes, it was just like a string of people, and it's in every class, truthfully. And all they want to do is say, I'm done with it, I'm over with this, swear at it, frustrate at it, look in the mirror and 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 10 it, and be done with it. And then they get mad at the universe that it's not over. I actually take a different approach, is that, yeah, it's great to have a tenacity of consciousness to want to change it. You need that energy. Definitely do all those other things and be the demand to change it. I take an approach of like, this is what worked for me, Christine. I had to turn and look at it. And I had to turn and acknowledge whatever was going on. And I had to become space with it and get to know it, because I knew that whatever I was behaving like or whatever was occurring in my reality was only there because for some reason I thought there was a benefit or a gift in it. Or,
you thought there was a benefit or a gift into looking at it?
No, I thought there was anything that we do because we believe there's a benefit. And even if it's the most insane behavioral choice, telling your boss to kind of F off and walking out without having a replacement salary maybe, might be good in the moment, but, you may want to give 30-day notice. Who knows? It's good to have a paycheck for 3 days when you know you're leaving. Like that kind of pragmatic, smart, have your own back, sometimes gets lost when you've been abused and are at odds with the world and don't believe that anything has your back or is your ally. So when stuff comes up inside of you with moving beyond your own limitations and abuse specifically, my approach is to take a look at it and say hi to whatever it is, whether it's a feeling in your body, whether it's a person in your life that you keep getting angry at over and over and over again, thinking that if you just get mad enough at them, it's going to change it when it's really about you. And I found that everything was really about me and what I was choosing. And I had to get really honest with that. Some of the most horrific situations, even in my own family, after my father died, being the executrix of his will, which put me in a very interesting position, was something that I had to look at about what I was choosing with all the vitriol that went on with that. And I could have easily said it was my family and just all about them, but it wasn't. It was about me too. And once I started noticing that it's about me too, my whole body softened, the bars of the invisible cage softened, my denial, defensiveness, dissociation, and disconnection stopped, and then I was able to let whatever that was go and start taking those steps across the bridge to radical aliveness. Right. And not everybody wants to look at themselves in the mirror. Usually they want to look at somebody else and put it outside of themselves.
Right.
And that's what I did.
And it's a very, very, brave and simultaneously painful thing to start looking at this. But, I've had a similar journey as you have had. And when I used my voice, I was much older than you chose to. I waited a very, very long time before I spoke my truth, and I said stop. And it kind of divided my family, Lisa, and it was difficult. But when I started to look at my part in all of it, it really started to come undone from the intensity of how it had me, really had me on a hold. And
yes.
And I was able to then start to create my life from the space of joy, not from the push or the survival or the protecting myself space. Does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense. That's exactly what radically, orgasmically alive reality is. It's from the space of expansion, where your energy space and consciousness is free of projections, separations, expectations, judgments, resentments, rejections, and regrets. All those projections and regrets are the cage of abuse. And whenever you're locked into that cage with another person or situation, your abusers, your family, your perpetrators, whomever, you lock yourself in the victim as a victim, or the reactionary one, or the superior one. Sometimes we go the other way. And either way, you're still a slave to it.
Mm-hmm.
What you're talking about and what I'm talking about with radical aliveness is how do we not be a slave to abuse, which is part 2, book 2 coming out. When did you become a slave to abuse, getting free in a new way?
Mm-hmm.
And it's about speaking all of that and realizing that you have to be willing to let go of everything and let go of everyone when you start speaking this, in order for you to choose you, commit to you, collaborate with the universe conspiring to bless you and create for you. And most people abdicate that voice, thereby abdicating their body, thereby abdicating their reality, thereby being a slave to everybody else's reality based on the illusions of projections, separations, expectations, judgments, and rejection. So all of those projections, separations, expectations, judgments, and regrets and resentments and rejections that all of us are still living to stay a slave to abuse instead of living radically, orgasmically alive. Can we just go in and create that, please?
Oh, hell yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, bottom, bottom, all 9 shorts, boys.
Thank you.
Causal incarceration, where we stay locked in those projections. Causal incantations, the spells and curses of how we hypnotize ourselves into them every day, so that we keep reacting and expecting in that way. The incarnations, making it alive and breathing it every day over and over and over, and taking people out to coffee to do it every day over and over and over. And all the inculcations, sticking yourself and your projections in a blender and calling it the costume you're wearing every day. Allowing incongruities and inconsistencies to live your life and be your life instead of being you. Can we destroy and uncreate that, too?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, bottom, back, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds, and rescind, revoke, recant, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate. The forever commitment to never move beyond the cage of abuse and to always keep the cage of abuse embodied within you. Let's destroy and uncreate that now, too.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, bottom, back, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. The target of what I do and my voice as the messenger you so graciously brought to my attention here is to eliminate and eradicate all forms of abuse. Silence is an abuse, so that all individuals choose to live radically and organically, empoweredly, that's even a word, alive on this planet. What would our world be like then?
Well, I can tell you, you just kind of unlocked a little bit more in me, so thank you very much. And for all of you who are just for the first time being introduced to this brilliant, potent being, you just got your asses whooped with absolute amazing change. So we are going to go for another break. Holy moly, we're halfway through this show. I can't believe this. When we come back, Lisa, I would like you to talk a little bit more about some of the different, more specifically the things that you are doing in the world, and then come back to how to step more into, how our listeners can step more into living their roar, okay? So you are listening to Inspired Choices on A to Zen.fm, and we are here with Dr. Lisa Cooney, and we will be right back after this short break.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show.
It's body time. What would nurturing you and your body create in your life? Would you be willing to give yourself 30 days to find out? 4 live calls and receive direct to your inbox each day a video, process loop, or activity designed to contribute to you. It's body time. What will 30 days of nurturing create in your life? Begins October 15th. To find out more, go to doniellecarter.accessconsciousness.com, DONNIELLECCARTER.accessconsciousness.com.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions, or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. We're with Dr. Lisa Cooney tonight, and we are talking about living your roar. Now, if you would like to connect with Dr. Lisa, you can do so on her website at Dr. Lisa, L-I-S-A, Cooney, COONEY.com, or on her Access Consciousness page, drlisacooney.accessconsciousness.com. So before the break, I was hoping that after the break we could get into more specifically what you're doing, because you do a lot of different things. So let's talk about, first of all, the Radically Orgasmically Alive 2-day class that you just posted in the chat room. Thank you. Oh no, Linda did.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, Linda is great. Thank you, Linda. So yeah, there's a couple of things, and what I want to preface all of this with, Christine, is that so many people say to me, and I'm so grateful for these opportunities to speak on the radio, or they say, as soon as we had this class, Radically Orgasmically Alive, formerly known as Radically Alive Beyond Abuse. And when everybody heard the word abuse, they turned away from it energetically, or basically said, well, I don't have any abuses in this lifetime or anything like that, so I don't need to go to this class. Uh-huh. And so I posted some videos about that, about like what is abuse and what abuse means to you. And Radically Orgasmically Alive is actually about that bridge that I talk about living your 4 C's, choosing for you, committing to you, collaborating with the universe, conspiring to bless you, and creating for you. That is the Radically and Orgasmically Alive class, by way of acknowledging your own cage invisible cage of abuse, denial, defending, dissociating, and disconnecting. And I walk people through that all the time. And the classes are becoming less and less and less and less about everybody coming there with sexual abuse. I think in this last class there was 3 or 4. In the class before that there was 1 person. And so it's changing. And we're talking about, yes, the sexual abuses and the domestic violences and the things that we know as the more horrific forms of abuse. But we're also talking about financial abuse and what that is, and psychic abuse, about how the judgments you say to yourself every day is an abuse of you, or the things that you say yes to where you mean a no, or the no's that you say when you really, it's a possibility for a yes, that's an abuse to you. Allowing yourself and your body to sleep with somebody sexually, copulation, where you don't have a full yes and you only have a partial yes. That could be seen as a abuse to you. Staying in a marriage that you're unhappy, or staying in a job that you're unhappy. These are all ways that deaden your roar. And we do them in this reality all the time, because this reality tells us that if we have this, 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 and this, we'll be happy. The 2.5 kids and the nice car and money for this and money for that. All of us know it's really lovely to have and be cash rich and be financially, solvent and beyond, but money isn't the be-all, end-all of everything. We're still looking for what is that inside of us that is our roar, that makes us get up every day and be like, yeah, I'm having that today. And so that's what these classes are. And what I decided to do is have these classes be an introduction to living radically alive. That's the Radically Orgasmically Alive class. And if you're going to work beyond your abuse and you've got that, yeah, it would be a great idea for you to come to do a class with me because I can, somebody told me I moved through 10 years of therapy in 6 minutes with them. So apparently I'm quite good at it. And it's really easy for me because I have done it. So whatever anybody comes to the class with, I have such a space of allowance because nothing they bring up triggers me. Because there's nothing that I'm hiding from. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing not to look at. There's nothing inside of me that I haven't peeled apart. And if there is, I peel it apart. And that's what I'm attempting to emulate, is that tenacity of consciousness to not be afraid of looking and speaking. And if you just look and speak, it'll take you 6 minutes to move beyond stuff that you've had for decades in your life. Phenomenal. So I run those classes wherever I go. And I run them before the 3-day Access Consciousness body class. Because once I facilitate someone beyond and out of their cage, they're already into radical aliveness, starting it, and then the body processes, hands-on body processes in Access Consciousness for those 3 days class, it allows their body to go to such a different level because they're not receiving the process up to the cage. They're already opening the door of the cage because the key is found within them in my classes, and they're receiving the possibility that these body processes are as a playground of a whole new physical and physiological reality. And so I've been this year, Hawaii, Hong Kong, Israel, Chicago, Virginia, Kelowna. I mean, I've been all over the world.
Yes, I've been watching
classes. You. and it's working, and the movement, the Beyond Abuse movement is like this tsunami in the world. So I couple all the classes with the Voice America radio show that's on Tuesdays, Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. And just in July of this summer, we had 50,000 hits for the show because people are just like getting that it's way beyond sexual abuse, and it is about sexual abuse. It's way beyond financial abuse, and it is about financial abuse. And so that's a free psychoeducational resource that I'm doing every week. Right. And everybody can take a look at that at drlisacooney.com. My radio show, there's a podcast, iTunes, that you can sign up for and subscribe to if you can't be live. You can call up and get live facilitation. And we have a subscription loop program where you get the audio recordings of the loops, the PDF, of course, and delivered to your inbox monthly if you'd like. That was music on command.
And go.
That was awesome. And we're actually offering a special right now that if anybody hears me, I'll do it for this too, on this show, and you sign up for the subscription loop program, which isn't profit in my pocket. This is to keep Voice America on the air as a free psychoeducational resource that is in like 100 countries right now. And people are having this revolutionary conversation of hope. So if you sign up for the subscription program, just listening to A to Zen tonight, I'll send you one of my newest books. I'm having it that I have a chapter in, personally signed, to your home via snail mail, just as a way to say thank you for keeping Voice America on the air and keeping my voice and the people's voices as, you know, primary and prominent moving beyond abuse in this reality. And I want to thank you for that.
So where do they go to sign up for this offer?
Basically, they go to
your
website, drlisacooney.com. On the home page, on the bottom right-hand side. I don't have the link in my
I'm on your website as we speak.
On the bottom right-hand side, it says, I choose the clearing loop.
Got it.
And they can go to that link. Thank you so much. And so that's another thing that I'm doing, just to keep this conversation alive, and so that every person that listens and gets these clearings gets it off their body, and then we're all contributing to abuse being off this planet. I also host a monthly subscription program group call, a Breakthrough Living Beyond Abuse call, where you can receive facilitation, whoever is on the call, and it is a subscription program as well that you can email info@drlisacooney.com to get more information about that.
Wow.
And there are many different books. I have 5 books out right now that I have a chapter in, a compilation, and they're all somehow tying into this Beyond Abuse movement. The first book was The Energy of Happiness. The Energy of Receiving was the second book. The Energy of Expansion, The Energy of Healing. We just did I'm Having It, and then we have The Energy of Creativity, The Energy of Play, The Energy of Knowing, and all these other ones coming out soon, let alone my own books coming out. And I really, and thank you for all this time to talk about all the stuff I'm doing, because what I'm actually doing, Christine, is being a messenger for the Beyond Abuse movement. And I know it's possible. I know, like batteries, when we all get together and we all choose our roar, our radical, orgasmic, alive reality, this planet will shift. This planet will change. Because every moment right now, even as we're on this radio show, children are being sold into sexual slavery. People are being beaten and raped and abused right now, and not just women. And men aren't just the perpetrators. Women are the perpetrators. Boys are being slowed into sodomy right now in other countries of the world as cultural practice. There's so much going on. There are people unhappy and crying right now and can't leave their marriage, or feel like they can't leave their marriage or their relationship because they can't make it financially, or they have children. There are people that are choosing to not do what they love because they would rather keep their family intact or their life intact, or keep quiet. This is how we're going against the stream and how we're going into the cage of abuse instead of out of the cage of abuse into radical, orgasmic, alive reality. And together we can bridge that gap by choosing to say yes to the possibilities, yes to our roar, yes to what we love, yes to committing to ourselves, yes to choosing ourselves, yes to collaborating with the universe, conspiring to bless us as our ally, and yes to creating. And what would our world be like then?
Well, you're definitely moving us in that direction, and it's phenomenal. Now, you also do the thermometry. So can you talk to us about that as well?
Yeah, this was more of a personal, basically it was a personal find. I was diagnosed with a life-threatening thyroid disorder. I can't even remember when, but it was about 10 years ago. And I went to the endocrinologist. I literally couldn't get off the couch, and I was so sick, and I'd never been sick before. And the endocrinologist told me I had three choices, cut my thyroid out, live on medication for the rest of my life, or kill my thyroid by taking medications for it to kill it. And I said, well, there has to be another choice. He said, there isn't. I said, goodbye. And I never went back. And what I did was I went to the Theta Healing Institute, which was then in Idaho Falls, Idaho, which is now in Kalispell, Montana. I stayed there for 3 months, and I got my master's of Theta Healing there with Vianna Steibel, the founder of Theta Healing. And in the first 3 weeks of her classes, the disease I had that was told that I didn't have any other choice, but what I was given was gone. And it was gone through this 3-week intuitive anatomy class where I learned about every organ of the body, every system of the body, and the thousands of belief systems lodged in our organs and cells of our bodies that with the Theta Healing technique could eliminate from the cells, from the DNA, from the organs of our bodies, diseases. It's a physical, psychological, and spiritual energy healing modality. In 3 weeks, it was gone. Now, it took about 2 years to undo the damage that the disease had done in my body, and the endocrinologist refused to look at it. And what I found is, through thermometry, through biological medicine, and through naturopathic means, that I had parasites, I had heavy metal poisoning, and I did not have mercury fillings. I had stuff and cysts in my ovaries and a whole buttload of problems with my liver. Okay, so, and what I know now, and through the Theta Healing at the time, was that was all what my body took on in the first 2.5 decades of my life. And then what I learned was all the systems and beliefs, through the systems of the body, all the belief systems I locked into my body that created the dis-ease, i.e. disease, and I learned that there was a possible way to undo it. And so I went to Europe and toured with my naturopath all these biological medicine clinics in Europe that only use thermometry. And then not only, they use the thermometry first, and then they look at all the allopathic means, blood tests, and all the diagnoses. And the thermometry machine, which is a metric device, very different than thermography that most people know of, it's an objective scientific findings of statistical diseases through like the World Health Organization, that with certain temperatures on the body, if you have certain temperatures, they can predict and prevent the signature patterns of diseases. And with energy healing and access consciousness and Theta Healing as well, you can use body processes and the Theta Healing modality to undo any disease in the body. Now, that's just my interesting point of view because it worked with me. Mm-hmm.
But you're seeing this. You're seeing this. You're doing it. I know Linda is doing it. There's other people doing this, and you're seeing this in people around the world, right?
Yes, we have a PowerPoint presentation that Linda and I did together. You could join the fan page, What the Body Knows, the Body Shows. It is also on the Access Consciousness blog. We're just finishing and updating the Theta Healing PowerPoint presentation and presenting it to that community shortly. And basically what we've seen for access, let's say, is in 75 minutes from doing the bars, just the bars, we do a thermometry before, the bars, thermometry after. We've seen dramatic results that have moved people's symptoms from a 10, meaning high, to a 0 or 1, meaning low. And the temperature changes in the body have moved from block regulation problems, noting problems, to complete normal and healthy regulation. And the founder of thermometry and the naturopaths that work with the thermometry regularly literally quoted in the PowerPoint, whatever you're doing, I don't know what you're doing, but I would refer all my cancer patients to you because it's working. And the naturopaths say what you see in 75 minutes is unheard of, and we would expect those results in at least 3 to 6 months, and we're getting them in 75 minutes. So, is thermometry pretty cool? Absolutely. FDA in the United States has just approved it after a 3-year battle to deny it. Just approved it. It is approved in Canada. It is approved throughout Europe. It is approved in Singapore and Malaysia. Malaysia is using the thermometries in the hospital, and currently there are only 175 devices in the world. So who do you all know out there who wants to become an affiliate and sell these thermometries to naturopaths, theta healing practitioners, access consciousness practitioners, doctors of osteopathy, acupuncturists, massage therapists, whomever. And what other doctors do you know as well who would like this? And maybe you would like it for your practice. And, contact Thermometry, THERMOMETRY at drlisacooney.com. We can get you more information about that. And it's just fascinating. And I use them for myself to keep myself as like a regular checkup, a couple times a year. Mm-hmm. And when I work as a practitioner, I have naturopaths that work with me who give the reports to as well. And they provide their treatment to their client, who's also my client, based on the 8-page report. And I do my energy healing through those reports and choose the body processes and the treatment plan, so to speak, based on what's there. And we work on the issues. And I combine everything, that I've been trained in, and people are getting well. And people are not sick. They're not in the cage of abuse, and they're living their roar. And one woman I worked with was severely ill, making like $27,000 a year and couldn't even function. And through all of this work, right now she's managing, a real estate firm, bought her first Mercedes, is getting married, has $25,000 bonus a year, has 3 months of vacation a year, gets petty cash and gas, reimbursed every day. And she's happy as everything, and she couldn't move and was so angry and in her cage when I first met her. And she's 33 years of age.
Wow.
And what is her life going to be like now?
Her life could have been so different.
And it was. And she has a reason for it to be different, because she was raped by priests from the age of 3 to 13. And everything that brings up for everybody, right, wrong, good, bad, bottom, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyond.
Lisa, I think I have to have you back.
Okay.
You've got so much to share. It's phenomenal. And girl, you talk fast, so I can see that when we're in classes with you, you could change people's realities instantly.
Oh, yeah.
Did anybody ever tell you you're pretty potent?
Yes, just a little.
Just a little.
I get really excited, and I do have to slow down my speech, but I get really excited because the earth is so happy for people like yourself, and the books, and the publishing house is going to publish the other books, and my classes, and the hosts that are coming to me all over the world, and the people that work with me, and the people that have come and contributed to me. And just this weekend in Virginia and D.C., Christine, honestly, people said, I just have to get involved with what you're doing. Tell me how I can do this. This is so important. The world is awaiting this. And, now is the time.
You know what? As I said, I'd love to have you back again. And, of course, Linda is saying, so Aurora class in Ontario. So we're going to talk, but we're just running out of time. And thank you, Lisa, so much. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for your passion and your drive and just the excitement. You are living your roar, and you're changing other people's lives. And how does it get any better than that? Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Christine. I appreciate the possibility you gave me here, and I appreciate you really giving me the space for this voice and for the Beyond Abuse movement, because the Beyond Abuse movement thanks you. And I always end everything, may all beings in all the world, especially the children, have hands to hold, food in their bellies, love in their hearts, peace in their minds.
That is phenomenal. Thank you so much. Again, connect with Dr. Lisa Cooney at drlisacooney.com. I just want to take just a couple of minutes here to tell you a little bit about what I'm doing in the world. If you'd like to connect with me, I am working with Danielle Carter, and she's doing an amazing call called 30 Days of Nurturing You and Your Body. You can look that up at daniellecarter.com. and also on Access Consciousness website. And also, if you're looking for some of the change through Access Consciousness, the Bars Foundation Level 1 classes, I am doing them throughout Ontario in October and November, and you can contact me or check this out on my website, inspiredchoices.ca. Thank you, everyone, for being with us tonight. Please connect with me next week. I have a very special guest, a young man who is blind and who is an athlete. Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.